Welcome back to your 10-Minute Executive Coach. I'm Paul Burke with Business Acceleration, and this channel is dedicated to those men and women who lead. Whether you lead a small team or a global enterprise, this channel is here to provide some insight and tools to help you lead well and to help your team succeed. We're at episode 13, the Art of Delegation. Now, this is one of the tasks that I get to work with all of my executives every time. So it's an art that has been lost sometimes, and it's a skill we think is a little easier than it actually is. This is not just for leaders, though. This is a skill for everyone on your team. So take what we have here today, share it with your team, and start this as a practice within your organization. Now, I call it the Art of Delegation because there's several things we need to do as we delegate those things within our sphere of concern. I want to understand to add a couple of terms to that delegate, and that is automate or eliminate. So there's three things we're going to look to do today. Delegate, automate, or eliminate. Delegate, we all know what that is. Get somebody else to do that task that's better at it or likes it or whatever. Automate. How many things are we doing that can be automated? Especially with AI over the past 2 years, that list has grown significantly. And 3, eliminate. What tasks are we doing that don't need to be done anymore? I recall taking over one role in the corporate world where I came in the office and they were doing a whole bunch of paperwork and a ton of reports and sending them to corporate every week. Spending hours and hours doing these reports because they've been doing them for 10 or 12 years. One executive required them and they just kept doing them. They were doing them every week. I had been in corporate. I'm like, nobody looks at this stuff. Stop doing it. See what they say. I think it was 3 months later, someone reached out and said, hey, Paul, we haven't got your reports. And we really rely on those on a weekly basis. I said, no, you don't. We haven't been doing them for 3 months. You don't rely on those reports. You don't even look at them. After that discussion, they decided to eliminate those reports for all regions. They weren't needed. A lot of the data there they had already because technology had automated most of it. So that's the top line. It isn't just delegate. Delegate, automate, eliminate. And automate is another one that we need to really be focused on as we look at tasks that we do and our people do. People are wasting a lot of time, losing a lot of productivity, doing things that AI or software we own can do. I think a great example is one of the clients I worked with was spending an inordinate amount of time on payroll. And I think it might have been 5 or 6 hours just trying to get payroll done, get it in, get it loaded. And we realized almost 80% of what this person was doing on a weekly basis could be automated. Could be checked prior to getting to certain stages, having the supervisors check the payroll before it goes into the system, all these little tasks. By the time we were done, that executive was spending about an hour and a half a week on payroll when we were done versus 4 to 5 hours a week, and making mistakes because they weren't good at some of the tasks within that area. So we have to automate also, so don't be afraid of doing that. But before we can delegate, automate, or eliminate, we have to do some homework. And that is take every task we do, everything we do, and list it out. That's everything we do each day, everything we do each week, each month. Who knows, maybe it's quarterly, but just really your day, your week, and your month. What do you do? List them all out. Make sure you get a complete list. And once you have that, now you can look at that list and you want to break it out into 4 groups. And you can use the 4-square model, which I'll even show you a picture. This is a 4-square. I'm not an artist, I get it. But this is a great tool to use. We have 4 squares with 4 numbers on them. Take those tasks on your list that you are great at and you love to do, put that in box number 1. Take those tasks that you're okay at, but you really like to do, and put those into box number 2. Take those tasks you don't like to do, but you're good at, and put them in box number 3. And then take those tasks you're not good at and you don't like to do and put them into box number 4. Once you have that 4 square, that laid out, you've got a picture and all these tasks and different things. Our goal is to take all those tasks below 1 and 2 and get them off your plate. Now, that's delegate, automate, or eliminate. It can't be done immediately. We know. I can't do it. The reality is a lot of leaders think they're the best and the only one that can do that task. And 90% of the time, we're wrong. There are people within our organization that do things better than we do, and we need to let them do it. So find the ones that can be eliminated. That's easy. Boom, done. Off your plate. Doesn't need to happen. Then find those items that can be automated. Find them. And find that expert. Maybe it's an IT, maybe it's payroll, maybe it's your operating system, whatever it may be. How do we automate this task? At least take the amount of time I spend in the task and pull it out. Now we have the delegate task. Those items that still need to be done, they're important for the organization, and they need to be done by a human being. Find the people who can do those tasks. If you don't know who they are, now's a good time to find out what your people like to do, what they're good at. I use the 6 Working Genius assessment, which is a great assessment that finds the sweet spot of where people work and the not so sweet spots where they may work. And once you understand, and that you may survey your team, you could use the Myers-Briggs, whatever you may use, to learn more about where they thrive, where they're really good at doing tasks. I always think of spreadsheets as a great example. I'm pretty good at creating spreadsheets and tracking things. I do not like doing it. So I love to find people who are good at it and love that kind of stuff, that actuary type individual, and get them doing all of that spreadsheet work. Whatever it may be, learn from your people who's good at doing this and then start giving them those tasks. Now, if it's an important task and you're delegating it, you need to make sure that 2 things are critical. 1, they know how to do it. Okay? Knowledge. Tools. They have the tools to do that task. And 3, the time. So if they have the knowledge, the tools, and the time, give them that task. Delegate that task. Now, you may end up with a few things there that are critical for your organization, and you have no one to delegate them to. Nobody has that skill. You're the only one that has a skill and you don't like doing it, or you're not good at it, or whatever it may be. Now you know if you need to hire, what skills you need to hire for. Maybe you're hiring someone on the team down the road. You put this skill into that interview package. Say, I want to find someone who can do this really well. And it may be payroll, it might be spreadsheets, or whatever it may be. And put that in and try to hire someone in that can help take that out. That's where it may take a while. If it's a critical task and it's on your plate, I know, you can't just dump it on somebody and then have it go nuts. But get as much off your plate as quick as you can. Again, it may take days, weeks, or even months. But when you give something to somebody, make sure that they have the training and the tools and the time to do it. Let's do a quick review. First off, list everything. Be complete. Go through daily, weekly, monthly tasks you do. Oh, this isn't just for you. Have your people do this. This is a great task for your team. Now, once you have that list, look at it. Put it in one of 4 boxes. I showed you the 4 square model. That's a great one. You can use whatever you want. Put a spreadsheet together. Box number 1 are those tasks that you're great at and you love to do. Box 2 are those tasks you are good at and you like to do. Box 3, those tasks you're good at but you don't like to do. And box 4, those tasks you're not good at and you don't like to do. And we're going to get rid of the ones below. Remember, it's delegate, automate, or eliminate. That's how we succeed. What can be automated, what can be eliminated. And in delegation, make sure that they have the training, make sure they have the tools, and make sure they have the time to do the task. Once you do this, it's going to make your job suck less. It's going to make the people around you's job much more enjoyable because you're a nicer person to deal with and you're not doing tests. Just think, I find so many executives that are doing things they're not good at and they don't like to do, and they don't do them well. They believe they're the only person who can. And once we find someone who can do that task well, it makes life a heck of a lot better for the organization. That's it on the Art of Delegation, a quick top line. I hope you enjoyed it, and do your homework. Lead well. Thank you.